To get started on this exercise, we're going to be creating a new document completely from scratch. So once you launch Adobe After Effects, let's create a new composition. The title of this composition is going to be called Supernova. The size of it is going to be a preset for HD VTV 1280 by 720 with a 29.97 frames per second. The duration of this one is going to be set to 5 seconds. And for now, we can keep our background black. We'll say OK. This will give us our new document. Now, just to be aware, in the book, it's going to ask you to open the character panel. And you can do this by going to the window drop-down menu. You can go down to your character, and this will open it up over here on the side. This character panel gives you full control over the text effects that we're going to be using. In addition to the character panel, there's also the properties panel. This is a new panel that will also give you all of the information that we need to be able to control the text that you're working on. So either the property or the characters panel is what you need to have open when working through this project. To add text to a layer, one way you can do it is by going to the Layer drop-down menu and creating a new text layer. Whenever you do this, it's going to automatically select your text tool. You're going to have a text empty line on your timeline, and you've got a little blinking cursor in the middle. Now I'm going to start typing the word supernova in all caps. And in my case, I can't see it simply because I've been typing with black as my color. So you may have to go over to your character or your properties panel and find the fill color. And we're going to set the fill color to be white so that you can actually see it. Also, if you need to change the font, we're going to change the font to Arial Black. So I'm going to choose or select the text in my character panel, start typing Arial. Here's Arial Regular. Here's where I can find Arial Black. To set the size of it is found in the lower part. We're going to set that to be 72 pixels. This will put it nice and in the center of our design. While this text does look really good on the screen, there's a little bit of too much space between the V and the A. This is where we need to adjust the kerning between both of these. Placing your insertion point between the V and the A, we can now go over to our character panel and locate the kerning text between here. Right now it's set to just the generic metrics. If you hold down the Option or the Alt key on your keyboard and use the left arrow, this will allow you to adjust the A and bring it in till it seems more balanced like all of the other ones. Notice that it also adjusts the kerning on this side too. Now with our text set up, let's animate this word. We want to have the word fly in from the bottom right, being large, and then coming in smaller, and then finally landing here in the center. To do this, I'm going to choose my selection tool, my little arrow tool. We're going to go down to our timeline and let's twirl it open. Notice that for text layers, you have a text animator and you also have your basic transform animator, and this is the one we want to open up. Now, by default, whenever you have text to animate, the central anchor point is always at the bottom center of the word. This is because this is where your baseline is at. We need to move this anchor point to be centered directly inside of our word. So before we do any kind of animation, go down to your anchor point settings and set the anchor point setting to be 00 with a negative 24.0. Didn't mean to move it. There we go. This is going to move your word down so that it's nice and centered inside of this area. Now to animate this, we want to have the words large and flying in from the right side and then getting smaller and landing to this point. We're going to do this by going down to our timeline, and let's set our current time indicator at 2 seconds. So this is where we want it to end. Going over to our transform controls, we're going to transform its position, its scale, and its rotation. Notice that this will give us keyframes right at 2 seconds on that point. Next, you can hit the home key if you have a home key on your keyboard to return the current time indicator back to its original 0 position. If you don't have a home key, you can hold down the function key and the left arrow key to bring it back to the 00 timeline. From here, this is where we want it to start. We're going to set the scale up to 900% for both the height and the width. And we're going to rotate this by 30 degrees. So it'll be 0x with 30 as the rotation. Excuse me, it should be negative 30 degrees. There we go, now it's rotating that way. Now that it's large and over here, we'll use our selection tool, and then I'm simply going to move it off and out of the way down here. Once this is set up, we can go to our preview and hit play, and you can see how this word is going to fly in. Now is a good time to save our files. Let's go up to File, down to Save. Since this is the first time, I'm going to make sure it's in a folder on my desktop called Supernova. And we'll call this Supernova with my name on it. We'll hit Save from here. To change the color of your text, you can click on the word or the text box itself, go over to your Properties or your Character panel, and let's change up the fill color. You can double click on it, and this will open up your fill color picker. From here, you can either choose a specific hue, saturation, or brightness of a color, or you can dial in an exact color amount. The book's going to have you type in an R value of 230, a green value or a G value of 110, and a black value of 255. This will give us kind of a light purple. When we say OK, this changes the color of it. Next, we want to add a blur effect to our overall design. In order to see it, let's go ahead and put our cursor or our current time indicator right at 2 seconds so we can see the entire thing. I'm going to go up to the Effect drop-down menu, choose Blur and Sharpen, and we're going to be using the CC Radial Blur Fast or Radial Fast Blur. Remember, when you add an effect, this will show up over on the left-hand side. We're going to set the amount to be 100. When you hit Tab, you can see how it's going to blur farther away. Now you can actually animate the amount of blurring that's happening with this effect. Since we have our current time indicator right at 2 seconds, when we go up to the amount, we're going to start a keyframe by clicking on the stopwatch and adding it right there. Then move your current time indicator over to 4 seconds. Once it's on the 4-second mark, we can change the amount from 100 all the way down to 5. This is going to reduce the amount from here. When we scrub over, you can see how this is going to animate that particular effect. Plus, when we go all the way back to the beginning and press play, this will render it out and show you how that effect is created. I think the only thing that needs to be added to this is some easy easing on the keyframes to make it seem a little bit more natural. To be able to quickly see all of our keyframes and only our keyframes on your timeline with nothing selected, so I'm clicking off on this empty area, I'm going to press the U key, and this will show only things that have keyframe animation. I can now click and drag on the timeline over all of the keyframes that are set, and this will allow me to quickly highlight all of these keyframes. With that done, we can go up to Animation, down to Keyframe Assistant, and choose Easy Ease. Now when I go to play the animation, this will have things slow in and slow out much more nicer and much more naturally. Next, let's add some stars behind everything. Again, on your timeline, make sure nothing is selected. So I'm clicking this empty area. We'll go up to Layer. Let's create a new solid layer. Now the name of this layer can be our star field. The size of it, when you click Make Comp Size, will automatically make this fill the same size as the composition we're working in. We're also going to change the color from black to just a solid white. We'll say OK to this. Since we want the star field to be behind everything, I'm going to click on the star field layer. First, I'll close up my supernova and drag it down below here. So now we can see the words with that behind it. There's a great effect that can be placed on here. We'll go up to the word Effect, down to Simulation, and we're going to do CC Starburst. There it is here. This will create an entire field of stars moving through. These stars are a little bit too big, so with the star field layer selected, let's go over to our settings we're going to set the speed to be 20, and we're going to set, the speed to be 0.20, and the size of each one to be 20. Now when we press play, this will give us a nice small set of stars flowing through our entire composition. Finally, let's add a lens flare in the background to make it look like a supernova is going off. Again, with the timeline selected, go up to Layer, down to New, and we're going to add a solid color. We're going to name this the lens flare. We're going to make it the comp size, and we're going to set this solid color to be black. We'll say OK. And also we want to put this below the star field. So with lens flare selected, drag it below the star field area. We're going to set our current time to be at 3 seconds when we want it to go off. From here, we'll go up to Effect, down to Generate, and Lens Flare. Whoop, there it is. Going over to our effects controls, let's set the lens flare to be centered on our screen at 640 by 360. We're going to set the flare brightness initially to be 0. So we don't want to see it right at 3 seconds, but we do want to bring it up once it's finished. Since the flare brightness is what we want to animate, let's click the stopwatch on the flare brightness to add a keyframe right at 3 seconds. We can now move our current time indicator all the way to the end of our timeline, right at 5 seconds. Going back up to our flare brightness, and we'll change this one to be 300%. You can see where it'll completely engulf the size of the screen. Now let's press play and see what the whole thing looks like. We have our star fields and our text, then a supernova going off. Looks great. Now that we're done, let's go to File and save it one last time. The book doesn't indicate this, but let's render our composition so we can upload it to the portfolio. To do this, we'll go to File, down to Export, and let's add it to our render queue. Once it's in the render queue, make sure you've got your render settings to best, your output mode to H.264. We're going to output this to, click on the word Not Yet Specified, and make sure you know where it's going to be saved to. In my case, I've got it inside the folder with my Adobe project. We'll hit Save. We're not done yet. Click the word Render. This shouldn't take terribly long to do since it's only 5 seconds. And then once it's done, you can upload this MP4 to your project folder.